Hello, this is Shan Chandrasekhar welcoming you to another delightful part of our programming. As a part of our tribute to 100 years of Indian cinema, we're doing a tribute to a fine young artist who is one of the finest singers from the Indian subcontinent, and she has won many awards, none other than Shashaa Tirupati. Our congratulations to you on all your hits in every top film that you have performed and on all the top awards that you have received. IFA Award, Mirchi Awards, and of course the most prestigious Sangeet Natak Academy Award. Hats off to you.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Kashmiri origin,
Yes.
Your parents, and then you went to India after that. But tell me about your upbringing in Vancouver. First of all, we are very proud of you. You're a great Canadian talent.
Oh,
okay.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. So I was born in India. Although I came to Canada when I was really young, around 8 months. So we usually just say I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
So I was raised in Vancouver. I grew up singing the Aarti with my mom when I was really young. That's what she tells me. I was around 2 and I would sing along. You know, she's singing Om Jai Jagdish Hare. I'm singing with her, that kind of a thing. After that, I do recall that probably since I was five-ish, we used to listen to a lot of Lataji and Rafi Saab songs. And my mother and father have great ears for music, and they knew exactly what songs they need to play, and they knew exactly they would compile a set of songs on a cassette, and they would make it a point on my tape recorder that I would listen to it all night, I would listen to it all day, and I think subconsciously a lot of that got stored. Then at the age of 6, I started singing on the radio. There was this show called Aapki Pasand Aapki Zabani, something like that. And basically any song that you wanted to request on the radio, you had to sing a couple of lines of that, and then they would play it. So everyone knew that there's a 6-year-old who's going to come on air and she's going to sing a song. I grew really popular with that.
Wow.
And slowly, I guess Vancouver just started noticing, and then they would start waiting every Friday night, you know, that she's going to come on air and she's going to sing. Then, as an outcome of that, I guess at the age of 7 or 8, I gave my first stage show. And again, massive response because people would want to see who the face is behind that voice on the radio. Then things just took off from there. Jasrajji heard me, and he told my parents, take her to India and have her, get her formal training. So that's where the formal training started.
The recent big production that just came in the market recently, Mohenjo-daro,
Yes.
Ashutosh Gowarikar,
Yes.
and of course the topmost guy, A R Rahman, music,
Yes.
Hrithik Roshan as the hero, and here is Shashaa singing there. So tell me about that song.
Oh my God, Sarsariya, that's the name of the song. It's been sung by myself and Shashwat Singh. Again, fairly new singer, great potential. This song, I was really excited about this song. I sang the song initially, I think about a year ago. And that's when we had just started recording the song. It was like the first draft, and Sir was there, and it was very different actually. So when we started the first part, it sounds like gibberish, right? The Emma se na na maya. There's no meaning to that. There's no meaning to that. So I guess Sir, in his mind, he had this idea that, yeah, probably in the times of Mohenjo-daro, this is how people may have, it could have been a way in which, or the sound of how people may have spoken. So we came up with that. So Sir came up with that, I'm sorry. And then he recorded it, and he wanted it to be sung exactly like that. So when I went to the studio and I was called for the song, I sang it exactly like that. And we weren't sure if that part would be retained at the end of the day, but eventually it was. So I was quite happy about it because I found that very intriguing. So I sang this, then there were a lot of changes. It was initially sung quite different from what the final product is, which you guys listened to in the final recording. I wasn't sure if I was going to be the final voice of the song, but eventually Got was very great, and Rahman sir was just...
That's fantastic. We'd love to hear you sing the first stanza.
Yeah. Do you want me to sing?
Sure, please do that.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back after these messages.
tell us about your entry now in the early days to the film industry. I think it was only about 5-6 years ago, was Bum Bum Bole.
Yes.
I think that was the movie where the child artist from Tare Zameen Par was featured.
Correct.
And so tell me about that film and your song there.
So that was completely by fluke. I don't even know how that happened. The composer of the film, Bum Bum Bole, was Tapas Relia. And I had sung my first jingle for Tapas. And I do remember that with the money that I got from that jingle, I actually rented my first place in Bombay. So he was a very integral composer and a friend for me at that time in my career. So he called apparently one day and he's like, yeah, so can you come over? There's a track I want to dub you for. So I was like, okay. I reached, we dubbed. He loved how the voice was gelling with the feel that he wanted in the song. And it was a kid's film. It was very innocent kind of singing that he wanted. And so I delivered, and apparently I guess Priyadarshan sir also liked the film was directed by Priyadarshan sir. And then it went through, and then the song happened. The song was called Rang De.
Just do the first line for me.
देखा रे देखा सपना खेला रे मैं उसमें खूब खुली आँखों का सपना अपना तारे से तारे सारे लाए हम लूट जेबों में भर ले थोड़ा आसमां चल भाग चले ढूंढे नया जहां रंग दे ये दुनिया रंग दे अपने रंगों में.
Well, the following year you did Turning 30,
yes,
and then a film called Be Careful. Both those films came shortly after each other.
Yes.
So tell me about the music there and your participation.
So Turning 30 was a film starring Gul Panag, and Be Careful had, I think, Rajneesh Duggal in it. So again, these were very initial films that I had sung in. They were just the beginning of my career, and at that point I think I was quite open to singing anything that would come my way, just because I felt that any song can give me a break. Any song would be the song, and any song would be a song with which, you know, I'll become like a superstar. That kind of a thing. But it doesn't work that way.
So it's very important when you trace the history of Indian cinema, and you as a great artist, that some of these were stepping stone, you know, in terms of your professional growth.
I think we're always growing. Every day I learn, and every day I see my flaws, and every day I try to fix things that I'm doing. So greatness is Rafi Saab, greatness is Lata ji, greatness is Rahman sir.
That's wonderful. That's very sweet of you to say. The first Punjabi film that you did, you're very versatile and multilingual. Here's a child born in India but raised in Vancouver, and you sang in India in Hindi, in Punjabi, in Tamil, Telugu. That's being truly multilingual. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
So tell me about this Tere
Ishq Na Chaya.
Yeah, so tell me about that film and your Punjabi song. Right.
So Punjabi usually it comes as second nature to us being raised in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Vancouver. So I can read and write the Gurmukhi script.
Oh, wow.
I used to do translations from Hindi to Punjabi for a local newspaper in India. So I picked up all of that Punjabi in Vancouver. I mean, credit to Vancouver for that. So I was called by, you must have heard of Hansraj Hansji.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
So his son was doing the music of Tere Ishq Na Chaya at that time. So actually I got the song because just before that I had participated in a reality show called Laks Junoon Kuch Kar Dikhane Ka. And Navraj Hans was the name of is the name of Hansraj's son, who did the music for Tere Ishq Na Chaya.
Hansraj Hans is one of the finest artists, great singer. In fact, we've had the pleasure of having him in the studio. We've done a lot of recordings with him in the past, many years ago.
Oh, wow, wow. I've grown up listening to Hansraj.
Oh, brilliant singer.
Absolutely.
You know, people like Hansraj Hans and Sardul Sikandar, people of that caliber, you know.
Yeah. So that Sufiyang is so beautiful.
Absolutely.
In Hansraj. So his son kind of saw that Sufiyang when I was participating in Junoon.
Yeah.
I was on Rahat Saab's team.
Right.
And so basically he was my mentor.
Yeah.
And he heard me singing Mere Bukkal De Vich Chorni, which is a very Sufiyana kind of a composition. originally performed by Abida Parveen.
Right.
So I sang that, he noticed me, then he called me to the studio and Tere Ishq Na Chaya happened. So in Tere Ishq Na Chaya, one song has been sung with me and Udit Narayan ji.
Yeah.
And another song I've sung with Richa Sharma ji.
Wow. Well, you just mentioned about the Punjabi song that you sang in the reality show.
Yes.
And that was in the presence of a great stalwart like Rahat Fateh Ali Khan.
Yes.
By Abida Parveen, you said.
Yes.
I have a pleasant surprise for you.
Yes.
I want you to see a little bit of the footage of yours.
Oh my gosh.
When you sang that.
Yeah.
That was absolutely fantastic. Just hum the first line for us.
मेरी बुक्कल दे विच छोरनी मेरी बुक्कल दे विच छोरनी मेरी बुक्कल दे विच छोरनी कहणु कूक सुनावानी कहणु कूक सुनावानी चोरी चोरी निकल गया ते जग च पै गया शोरनी मेरी बुक्कल दे विच चोरी चोरी निकल गया ते जग च पै गया शोरनी मेरी बुक्कल दे विच चोरनी मेरी बुक्कल दे विच चोरनी.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back after these messages.
Where did you learn to sing classical like this?
Well, my first Guruji was in Vancouver, Sridevi Hundal Saab. Then I trained, then shortly after which I went to India. But I did learn from a few of Jasrajji's disciples, Shweta Jhaveri ji, Pandit Ratan Mohan Sharma.
Wow.
But I would say most of my training has been through the late Srimati Kamla Bose ji in Allahabad. And I also trained under Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan Girija Devi ji.
Wow. Wow.
And after that, it was more self-taught. After I came back to Canada, again, it was to the point. So my family took me from Canada to India to learn. I came back and then again, I was like blank, I didn't know what to do. And I've always had that kind of a kira to learn, So I started going online and searching for things on YouTube, which was very scanty at that time. Then musicindiaonline.com, that was a website which I would frequent, and there were a lot of things by Veena Sahasrabudhe ji, who recently passed. Ashwini Bhede ji, Kishoriya Munkartai,
Wow.
Rashid Khan Saab, again one of my favorites, Bade Ghulam Ali Khan Saab. So I can just keep going on with these names. So I started, I took an auxiliary cable and I connected that from my PC to my tape recorder, and I would record everything that I liked. And then I would pick up the most difficult compositions I would kind of understand, things like that. I would just see tan bass and that kind of thing. And I would listen to that overnight. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd put it on again. Whenever I'm gone to school, I'm back, I'd put it on again. And I picked up most of my music afterwards. Like that. So that's how I think the classical
rendition is just absolutely professional, Somebody would think that you had learned, some gharana and some style for umpteen years, So it looked so professional. Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Then let's come to the year 2012, your first breakthrough in the Tamil film industry.
Raja Rani.
Oh, Raja Rani. Oh, I see.
Ode Ode.
Oh, I see.
I think that was 2010
or
12, yeah.
Okay.
One of the two, yeah.
And who was the music director for
G.V.
that?
Prakash.
Oh, G.V. Prakash, okay. Do you remember that song?
That one I remember.
Okay, so.
Ode 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 O. Ode 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 O. Ode 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 O. Ungode Gode Ode Ode O. Kadal brother enakku nenjukkullukku irukku.
Duet with Javed Ali was in Nimirtha Nil.
Yes.
Do you remember that first line?
Yeah. காதல் நேர்கையில் மௌனம் பேசும் காதல் பார்வையில் கண்கள் கூசும்.
Then came this big hit, Kocharayan, of course, with superstar Rajinikanth, the lovely Deepika Padukone. Music by the maestro, the king of music, Oscar winner, A R Rahman. What else do you need?
Oh my
you
gosh,
had the
yes.
combination of the cream of the crop, and here is Shashaa singing there. Vada Vada.
Yes.
So there were two versions. You sang in both Hindi and Tamil.
I sang in the Hindi version.
Okay.
And Rajnikant sir's wife had sung
Oh,
the Tamil version.
Oh, Jilu sang. So,
Yes.
oh, she sang the Tamil version.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
And then I did a revisited version of that. Manapinnan Satyam, that was the name of the Tamil version.
I see.
So me and my friend, we loved the song so much, he decided to reproduce it, and I went and I dubbed it in the studio and we sent it to Sir. And then he's like, haha, you know.
I see.
He was quite entertained. But I think as a result of that, I ended up getting my first Tamil song for Sir, which was A Mr. Minor from Kavya Talaivan.
Oh, right, I see. So let's first do the Kocharayan song,
Yeah.
Vada Vada.
सुख दुख मिलके बांटेंगे हम वादा 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 हमदम.
Lovely. So let's go to Kavya Talaivan.
Yes. Oh, this song is so close to my heart. The Kavya Talaivan song. Hey, Mr. Minor in the bakre.
Beautiful. Then there was another, this,
Ronak album.
it's an album.
Yes.
And A R Rahman was involved in that.
Correct.
And you had some connection with Lataji in this.
Yeah, so I was part of the backing vocalists
Okay.
in this particular song. And Rahman sir and Lataji had sung the original, the lead vocals, and we were called to do a couple of parts in between as backing. So for me, being credited in a song in which Sir, Rahman sir and Lataji have sung that, it was just a blessing, such a blessing.
Then comes Ungli.
Yeah.
Of course, this is now with Karan Johar and Dharma Productions.
Yeah.
So big banner. And you had a song there.
Yeah, so again, this was again for female backing, but the backing in this song is very, it's dominating most of the song. So it's predominantly female backing oriented. So
Yeah.
that was the song in Ungli.
Do you remember that?
इश्क तेरा मेरा पाकीज़ा, इश्क तेरा मेरा रब से ज़्यादा, इश्क तेरा मेरा पाकीज़ा है, तारीरा 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 पाकीज़ा.
Brilliant. Then comes another big hit. This is again with a superstar Rajnikant, combination with A R Rahman, Linga.
Yes. En Mannava. Solo was a Mr. Minor, Tamil.
Oh, right.
Yes. I ended up getting the Mirchi Music Award for that one as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So that was the first solo that I did for Sir in Tamil.
Right.
In terms of solos, I think after A Mr. Minor came OK Kanmani.
Oh, classic. You had 3 songs there.
Yes, I had 3 songs.
Oh, wow. And you know, each one was a big hit. So tell me about those 3 songs.
Oh gosh, OK Karmani, I can never stop talking about OK Karmani. I mean, the whole soundtrack, not just my songs, every single song. I mean, you listen to A Sinamika, you listen to Nane Vargireen, you listen to...
Parande Sellava.
Oh, I loved Parande Sellava.
Yeah, and Nane Vargireen, I don't know how you sang that. It was one of the most difficult songs to sing.
Yes.
And you did a beautiful job.
Oh, thank you. It took me about 6 hours to record that one. So initially we recorded the song, and this was when Sir wasn't there. We had the guide vocals and I just couldn't understand the beat of the song. So there's like a bass going, and then the rhythm section's completely alternative to that, and the vocals are bang opposite to that. So I was like, oh my God, where am I supposed to sing? And I'm still trying to figure out, you know, where the downbeat is, and I couldn't get the downbeat in Nane Vargireen. So initially we dubbed and it was all scrapped, and Sir's like, what have you done?
And you know, and wherever you sang, from what I understand, I think you performed with A R Rahman in London.
Yes, yes.
And I've known Rahman for a long time.
Right.
He's a perfectionist. You know, when he does a live show, he does an absolutely super job.
Oh, totally.
And the fact that somebody can perform with him, if he chose you to perform, that means you have to be a top artist. For Rahman, there's no second best.
Right.
So again, that's a compliment to you.
Thank you.
Do all 3 songs for me, just the first line.
So, Paranda Sellava I'll start with. That's the first track I dubbed for OK Kanmani. Puttam pudu vedi, puttam pudu nodi, tikkiyada mori, tittikede vari. Puttam pudu vedi, puttam pudu nodi, tikkiyada mori, tittikede vari. I liked the song particularly because I got to portray 2 sides of my singing. I had that bit of a jazz, blues, kind of a Western kind of a thing. And then I had that beautiful ballad that, the Paranda Selva, the airiness, breeziness that Rahman sir is particularly known for. So I loved singing the song.
That's wonderful.
Then Nane Vargireen was the other one.
Song.
This one is... Polladayan nidayam yedo
Brilliant.
Yengo sellade polladayan nidayam yedo sollade.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. What a job, what a job. I think it's one of the most difficult songs. An average singer cannot easily sing that song. And you are absolutely outstanding the way you sang that song.
Thank you.
And that song will be in the classic hit parade for many, many years to come.
Oh, I pray so.
Great job. Then came this Payumpuli later.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
That was my first time working with D. Iman sir. He's supposed to be the music composer for the masses.
Right.
Every song he touches and it's a huge hit.
Right.
So I did the song called Silikkumarame. And I'll tell you a very funny incident about Silikkumarame. So I was in Chennai for a session. And where I was staying, I was just crossing the road to go to Adiyar Anand Bhavana for some food. So I was crossing the road and apparently there was eve teasing going on. So there's this guy who comes and he crosses the road. And guess what he sings? He sings Silikkumarame. So this eve teaser sings Silikkumarame to me. I didn't know to be happy or to be sad, to be upset at that point because I was like, oh my God, he's singing my song.
No, you should be flattered.
I was actually. So that was funny. So Silikkumarame came out to be a huge hit last year, I believe, for D. Iman sir. So I sang that with Divya Kumar, who's again a really, he's a very popular Bollywood singer at the moment, a current super singer there.
Do that for me.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back after these messages.
We go on to a very interesting venture of yours. You're one of the few people who has actually sung in an Iranian film on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Yes.
So this is a very interesting venture. So tell me about that particular venture and how you got involved in that.
Yeah, so this was a Majid Majidi film.
Yeah.
He's one of the most acclaimed directors for Iranian films. And again, this was more of hymns and Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We sang this entire Islamic phrase for the film. And there's the scene wherein I believe there's a walk where I think the Prophet is walking or he's climbing a hill, something, and this comes as a backing for that. So this was again for Rahman sir, again backing, but a great project to be a part of.
We talked about Sufi music and we discussed A R Rahman, and I've had the pleasure of having Rahman in the studio with me more than once in the past.
Wow.
We've also done his live events, which was a fabulous experience. Talk of Sufism and the role of religion in his life and spiritualism.
Yes.
I want you to listen to what Rahman told me.
Oh, absolutely.
Just listen to this.
Well, my father, you know that he passed away very young when I was a very
And
young.
your father was, of course,
Was a composer
himself.
and
And
it
he
was-
worked with Salilda,
Yeah,
Mr. Salil Chowdhury.
Salil Chowdhury and a lot of South Indian movies.
Right.
And he suffered from this very bad illness, and at the very last moment we met the Sufi who was taking care of him, but it was beyond a point where nobody could help. And then this man, Mr. Karimullah Shah Qadri, he said, "You be coming to me." He almost predicted my future. That he said, "We might come after 10 years, and then you'll have a very great future," he said.
It's wonderful.
And that's when he came, and when I built my studio, he kept the first stone and things like that. And then I think for me it was more like an experience and a way of life which I thought would suit me, and more disciplined and more divine, and would help me in my music also. That's how a family became influenced by Sufism.
When Rahman does his recordings, many artists that I've interviewed here, they all said he prefers to do night recording.
Yeah.
Most people have to get used to it because of the fact he gets all his creative energy after sunset.
Yes.
So some of your recordings, were they done late in the evenings as well?
Absolutely. I personally, I'm a night bird. So I like doing everything. I used to study at night. I used to listen to music at night. I still practice at night. I do my programming and arrangements at night. So everything's at night. So for me, it was like a perfect sync, you know, with Sir's schedule. But Nane Vargireen, we recorded, I think, we started recording at, I think, 9 or 10. And it went on till, like I said, it was a 6-hour session. So it went on until whenever, 4 o'clock in the morning. Then Rasali went on. We started at, 11, and it went on till 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning.
Was that from Acham Enbadu Maramayada?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I see, okay.
Yes.
So,
So that went on till that late. Then again, Parenda Selva, 11, 12 at night we started, ended at 2, 3. So.
do that song for us, Rasali.
Rasali, oh, it's a very difficult song. பறவை போலாகினேன் போலாகினேன் என்று சிறுகும் என் கைகளும் ஒன்று.
Wow. You know something, it's unbelievable. Your Tamil pronunciation is so perfect. I mean, one would think that you really are very fluent in the language because of the fact that you do have this linguistic skill. So tell me about this. Was it based because of the fact that you knew Sanskrit?
Well, I did study Sanskrit. My mother's done her master's in Sanskrit, so.
Right. Because you do all these fantastic slokas. Sri Ramachandra, that the bhajan that you did was a masterpiece. In every language, like your pronunciation in all the 5 languages that you have sung in, each one looks like you're really proficient in that language.
I think I'm a good listener.
Yeah.
I think if you can listen to anything, then it shouldn't be difficult to replicate it. I mean, even when it came to learning classical music, things that I would listen to, I would listen to it with such depth that I think replication then is not difficult. As far as pronunciation comes intrinsically, I would probably say that I come from a very religious family. Personally, I consider myself spiritual, but my family is very religious. And my father is a Pandit, and we grew up memorizing things like the Shiv Tandav Stotra or the Durga Saptashati and, different parts from there. So, the whole Jatatavik Galad Jala Pravaha Pavitasthali.
Wow.
So I grew up, memorizing all these things because my parents would make me do it.
Brilliant.
So pronunciation, the tongue twister part of it, I think that kind of got resolved because of my parents and the shlokas they made me memorize. But for everything else, I think it was also subconsciously having grown up listening to Rahman sir's Tamil music. I think kahin na kahin that got stuck in my head, somewhere up here.
Each of these languages, whether it is a song in Telugu that you sing, or a song in Tamil, what language do you write the song in first?
I don't know what language to call it. It's like a mix of English and Hindi and Marathi. So, and I think one more language. One more language.
The earlier days of yours when you were singing in reality shows, you appeared in front of one of the finest, singers in the world of Sufi music, none other than the nephew of the great Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, Rahat Fateh Ali Khan.
Right.
And I think you sang Ali More.
Yes.
What a job you did. You did a beautiful job. And you were highly appreciated by all of them.
Yeah.
And they gave you a standing ovation. So tell me about that experience.
Oh, that was brilliant. For me, I've been a huge Nusrat Saab fan. Like, just different level. I heard Guru's. So I recently did a cover actually of a Nusrat Saab song as well, Rahman Sir and Nusrat Saab song for Independence Day, for the 70th Independence Day, Indian Independence Day. So I've been a huge Nusrat Saab fan, and again, you know, back in the 90s, I remember listening to ये जो हल्का हल्का सुरूर and सांसों की माला पे सिमरू मैं पी का नाम and मेरा पिया घर आया and all these. So for me, and the thing is that he just felt so unapproachable because I was in Canada and he was in Pakistan, and just thinking that I could ever meet him. So for me, actually seeing Rahat Sahab face to face, it was partially, I mean, you can never replace Nusrat Saab, but I could just see like a part of Nusrat Saab right there, and that itself was so, I don't know, just my heart just gushed at that point. So I think that was one of the reasons why I could kind of perform on stage over there, because I could just feel, you know, Nusrat Saab somewhere there. Not to say that I don't have respect for Rahat Saab. Again, what a brilliant musician he is.
Absolutely.
His range and emotion, again, he's got great feel when he sings. I love that about Rahat Saab singing. So this reality show happened, and I was on Rahat Saab's team, and we had to choose a Sufi song to perform. So I chose Ali More Angna, which was originally performed by Shubh Mangal ji. So I sang the song, and then there's this part, Ishq mein tere jogan ban gayi, dil mera dole, cham cham bole payaliya, mori payaliya re, Ali More Angna daras de. So when I sang this thing, I guess everyone just got up and they started clapping.
That's wonderful.
So that was quite, I took that glamour for the moment, you know.
That's well, you have every right to, you know, like sort of cherish and gloat in it. Take a look at this. That's another brilliant piece. By the way, you did a beautiful song in a Marathi movie whereby you sang for a girl who was, I think she was German or something, you know, a character there.
Oh, yes, yes.
I think it was a Marathi song.
Yes.
That you sang, and it was a beautiful song.
That was very initially in my music career, and I think that was also immediately after a reality show I was on, wherein I portrayed a lot of Western music and that style of singing. So the composer Chaitanya Adkar, he called me for a Marathi song. I was like, dude, I don't know Marathi. And then he's like, no, you gotta sing Marathi like a Firangi. I was like, okay, there you catch our attention. So then I ended up singing that song. So he wanted a very Western accent to the Marathi that I sang in this song. But then after this, I went on to sing another Marathi song wherein there was Marathi in Marathi with a proper Marathi accent, but there was English as well with an Indian English accent. So that song was Rang Hai Nave Nave. Rang hai nave nave, duniya hai nayi nayi. For which I was nominated for the MIFA.
Wow.
Yeah. So that song, the Marathi had to be correct and the Hindi had to be correct. So then I realized that, I can probably sing Marathi as well.
That's brilliant. Yeah. You know, then you know, let's go back to one more Tamil hit of yours. Like there was another movie, Meen Kurambum Manpanayum.
Yeah.
So and you had a song.
Adenila.
Adenila.
Yes.
Adenila.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Yeah. So this was my second song for Armaan sir, and I love working with him. He's so he lets you do your thing. You know, I mean, I think that creative space is so important to give a creative person.
Right.
And as a singer, you know, we have a lot of things that we want to take out. There's a lot of things we want to do. There's a lot of things we want to express. I personally am a very introversive person. I'm very shy. But so I think because of that, it makes music becomes my medium for expressing. So Armaan sir lets me do that. Rahman sir lets me do that.
Yeah.
A lot of actually, there's quite a few composers who allow the singer that space. So when I sang Adenila, Armaan sir was like, he told me the basic composition and I sang it, and then I did a couple of things here and there which he liked. So he's like, hey, let's do that. So I was like, okay. So I replicated those. Usually these things come impromptu. You don't really think about them, but I had a lot of space to do what I wanted to do in this song.
You worked with music maestro Ilayaraja, one of the finest music directors in the Indian subcontinent. I think it was Amma Kanakku.
Yes.
You had a song there.
Yes.
So tell me about your interaction with Ilayaraja.
Wow. So I was called from the coordinator of Raja sir, Vasudevan sir, and he told me just to come to Prasad because I informed him that I was in Chennai at that time. So I went to the studio, I went to Prasad, and then I was made to wait for a couple of minutes, and then I was called inside, and then I was told that I need to audition. So I was like, oh my God. So I entered the room, and I was expecting Raja sir. That itself was
Intimidating.
intimidating, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And then I enter the room and I'm seeing Kamal Hassan sir beside him. I was like, oh my God, I'm done. So at that point, my knees were like that. He told me to sing a couple, he's like, okay, sing this, sing this, sing this. He sang a couple of phrases. I sang them and he's like, okay, go. So okay, go, I didn't know if that meant, get lost. Or if it meant you go wait outside or dubbing. So eventually it was the latter. And I ended up dubbing a couple of alaps for Amma Kanaka. And then he gave me a song to dub from the same film. In the Varka. So that was my first song with Raja sir, and then he came inside and he heard it, and he's very precise about what he wants.
Of course, yeah.
So if he's made a particular composition, he's sung it a particular way, then he'll want you to sing it exactly that way. He doesn't want you tampering with this composition, and I think that's absolutely cool as well, because at the end of the day, for a composer, the song is his baby, right? A composer composes thinking that this is what I want my song to sound like. This is how I want my song to feel. These are the notes how I want in all, in all specificity. So I think that was completely. It was really nice recording with Raja sir. It was a different way of recording for me, but it was very nice.
Sing that first line for me.
இந்த வாழ்க்கையையுன் கையில் எனக்கு முடியுமா அது போகும் வழியை மாற்றி அமைக்க முடியுமா.
There was this film Sarbjeet, which was a different type of film where Aishwarya Rai took a slightly different role. I think it's had to do something with the empowerment of women. In that, you had a very nice song.
Yes.
I think it was Allahu.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Oh, I loved being a part of this song. Actually, this song was composed by an upcoming composer called Tanishq Bagchi, and he's doing some fantastic work. And I think he is one of the upcoming topmost film directors, film music directors in Bollywood. So I had initially done the rhythm section for the song. I was assisting Tanishq for 5-6 years. So I had initially worked on the rhythm section of Allahu Allah, which is on a very odd rhythm scale. It's got a very, I think initially we made it in 9.5 beats or 11.5 beats. So it had a very odd tempo to it. Then we scaled it down, made it a little more mass friendly, and we went down to I think 9 or 11 beats. And then whatever the final product came out. Then later I was called to sing the song. So it was initially a different composition. Later we changed and tweaked the composition to make it more, again, mass friendly. So the song was अपना कर दीजो मोहे दरस दे दीजो मोहे करम कर दीजो मो पे तुम खुदा हो नूर वाले अपना कर दीजो मोहे दरस दे दीजो मोहे करम कर दीजो मो पे तुम खुदा हो नूर वाले.
Tell me about this movie, 24, the movie.
Yes. So 24 was directed by Vikram Kumar. And it stars Surya, one of the leading actors in Tamil cinema, and it's also got Nitya Menon and Samantha.
Oh, I see.
Prabhu. So I sang a song called
Punnagaye.
Yes.
Yeah,
Punnagaye.
and with Haricharan.
Yes, with Haricharan.
Right.
Again, that it was a beautiful song, beautiful soul to the song, and I dubbed this in Chennai itself.
Wonderful. Since we are doing a history on Indian cinema, I cannot help but go to a beautiful song that you sang from the movie Babuji Dire Chalna.
Yes, yes.
That you sang.
Yes.
Now, historically, when you look at music of Indian cinema, that was a big hit song in those days.
Yeah.
And you redid that song. So tell me what motivated you to sort of do that song.
So this song that I sang was for a non-film project, and it was rearranged by a music composer called Miko. And this was for Sony Mix. There's a show on Sony Mix called The Jam Room. And they wanted me to give it my edge,
By the way, Sony Mix is our channel, our partner channel.
Wow.
In Canada, it's called ATN Sony Mix.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Super. So that, I get such a huge, so many people recognize me from Sony Mix.
Yeah.
So, big thank you to Sony Mix over there. So The Jam Room is a show that I sang 2 songs actually on that. Babuji Dire Chalna was one of them.
And Ye Ladka.
Yeah, correct.
That was a nice thing.
Yeah, so both of these songs were recreated, they were rearranged and given a very lounge feel, more acoustic.
Masterpiece of yours was an unplugged song that you did in an environment that was very informal, just a keyboard, bit of a piano, and yourself. And you sang this beautiful ghazal of Ustad Mehdi Hasan, Ranjishi Sahi.
Right.
What a job you did, Again, you sang that with such great feeling. What attracted you to that song?
Mehndi Saab. I've since forever been a fan of his. I was so upset when I heard of his passing. It's very seldom that you hear a singer who has that kalakari with the soul.
Yeah.
There's so many technically proficient singers out there. Tans everyone can take, I believe. Fast stuff, fast-paced stuff, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Gala chalta hai, that's great. But doing the same thing, knowing where to emote, or rather having that prowess, but having the ability to control it.
Yeah.
And controlling that prowess and putting forth something that the audience wants to connect to.
Yeah.
That's something I found in Mehndi Saab singing. That's something that's something I also found in Rafi Saab singing. I'm a huge Muhammad Rafi Saab fan. So I found that in his singing and in Mehndi Saab singing.
I want you to just do the first line right here for me.
Ranjishi Sahi. रंजिशी सही दिल ही दुखाने के लिए रंजिशी सही फिर से मुझे छोड़ के जाने के लिए रंजिश ही सही दिल ही दुखाने के लिए रंजिश
Brilliant.
ही सही.
Come back to your performance again,
Right.
just to demonstrate how versatile you are, and you are such an asset to the Indian film industry and the music industry. Beautiful song that you did in English. Hello, it's me.
Yes, it's an Adele cover I did.
Wow. Again, congratulations.
So Akash Gandhi, it was a collaboration with him and Aditya Rao, who also frequently sings for Rahman sir. He's sung in the film I. There's a song called Aila Aila, right? So that was sung by Adi. So it was a collaboration between me and Aditya and Akash Gandhi. I was approached by Akash regarding a cover, and he suggested that we do Hello at that time. And Adele had just released Hello a couple of weeks before we recorded it, so we decided to do it. And Adi did his vocals. Adi stays in the States, so he dubbed his vocals and he sent it across. I dubbed mine in Bombay, and we put it together, and then we shot the video. He shot it in the States, I shot it there, and we put it together, and it came up pretty cool.
Beautifully done. Watch that with me, please.
Yeah.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hello from the other side.
A popular song from Bobby, Lata Mangeshkar's Akiyon Ke Rehne De, I think.
Go Rehne De, yes.
You did a beautiful job. So tell me about the reason why you selected that song.
I think a song like that is a dream song for a singer. There's a beautiful ad-lib that starts off in the beginning, you know? टूट के दिल के टुकड़े टुकड़े हो गए मेरे सीने में आ गले लग के मर जाए
Wow.
क्या रखा है जीने में अखियों को रहने दे अखियों के आस पास दूर से दिल की बुझती रहे प्यास अखियों को रहने दे.
Brilliant.
It's just so, it tugs at your heartstrings.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just so beautiful. So since I heard the song in Lata ji's voice, I was always in awe of her singing.
Another asset of yours, you play the kazoo.
It's in my bag, yeah.
I was fascinated that you played a Carnatic song in the kazoo. If you close your eyes, it almost sounded like a mini Nadaswaram because it was completely pure Carnatic classical that you played.
Right.
You used the kazoo earlier for right after Ranjashri Sahi as well.
Yeah.
That was different. You did that in Yemen as well.
Yes.
So I heard you playing kazoo in two different rags, and you were brilliant in both. How did you pick up to play kazoo?
So I have this fascination for three things. Okay, let's just call it three things. I love learning languages. I love learning different instruments, and I love trying to cook new food. And I'm a really good cook. I will cook for you.
Some special dish for us?
Yes, for you and Jayaji.
Oh, that's very sweet. That's very sweet. But I'll tell you something. We'd probably be so engrossed in your music, we wouldn't even be hungry. Because that's how good you are, your music.
Thank you.
Your music makes us ecstatic.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. So there was this show I was watching.
Yeah.
And in the show, I saw this guy playing this little pipe kind of a thing. And I didn't understand how he was playing because he wasn't moving anything. And he wasn't moving. So I went and I asked a friend of mine what it's called, and he told me it's called a kazoo.
Yeah.
So after that, I went for the O2 concert in London. So I went into music shops, and I picked up a couple of plectrums, and I picked up the kazoo.
Yeah.
And I picked up a metal kazoo. So I picked it up,
Yeah.
like I was really happy about it. And right there, I left the shop, so that I knew, so that I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of the shopkeeper. So I left the shop, and then I went out on the road, and I blew into the kazoo, and nothing happened. Then I tapped at it, and nothing happened. I tapped at the front, nothing happened. I turned it around and I blew in it again, and nothing happened. And I thought it was a defective piece. And then I was heartbroken at that. I was like, I just spent like 5 pounds on this. And I was literally heartbroken at that point. So I didn't know what to do with it. I brought it home. I came back to Bombay and I started fidgeting with it. I was like, so I didn't want to spoil the rest of my 2 days in London. So I just kept the thought aside. I kept the kazoo inside and I was like, we'll figure something out. And I was too embarrassed to go back to the shop. So I came back to Bombay and I continued doing the same stuff. And then suddenly I was like, and it made a sound. Like out of exhaustion, I was like, oh, you know? And I did it in the kazoo and I realized that it worked. Something happened. So then I was like, oh, you got to do something into it. You got to sing into it. So then I started singing it and then I realized that, oh, I could do this. Then I started making different sounds out of it and then I could see different sounds. Then by the tonality that came out of the kazoo, I realized that it's got a very Carnatic sort of a thing. So then I remember listening to Giriraj Sudha by Shankar, again, someone who I adore. Wow, Shankar Bhai. So I remember listening to Giriraj Sudha and picking it up like I did, right? Listening to music. So I tried playing that on the kazoo and it came out. So then I decided to do a cover. And I didn't care about what a fool I'd make of myself playing that thing in my own way. And strangely, it was accepted. People liked it and people appreciated it. So I sang Giriraj Sudha Tanaya Sanaya Giriraj Sudha Tanaya Sanaya Giriraj Sudha Tanaya. So I sang this and then I played the same thing on the kazoo.
My God.
A bit of an alap. And that's how the kazoo realization happened. Then I decided to do something new with the kazoo as well. I mean, that came very obviously, the whole Carnatic thing. So then I went on to do a cover of Ranjish Hi singing.
You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic.
You should run Chanda Suraj Lakho Tare. We just did it. We need that mileage right now. We just uploaded 2 days ago.
We'll be delighted to do that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, do you want to do the first line here? And just
Chanda Suraj?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one we did for the 70th Independence Day.
Yeah.
चंदा सूरज लाखों तारे हैं जब तेरे ही ये सारे
एहसास उसके जख्मों का हो के अपना भी दिल भर भर आए रोए आंखें.
Lovely, lovely. Congratulations. One more beautiful piece of yours.
Yeah.
Bollywood Unwind.
Yeah.
And you did this beautiful piece there that you had another young lady who sang with you.
Yes.
And you were remarkable in that piece there.
Thank you.
Man Kyun?
Man Kyun Behka.
Ah, what a song.
Yeah.
Please just do the opening line for me.
Man kyun behka रे behka.
What can people expect from you in the next, say, 2 to 3 years? What are your plans?
Oh, there's so much I want to do and there's so little time. I want to do my own singles. I want to do my own music. I love vocal arrangements. I love unplugged arrangements, so that's kind of a thing that I would want to do. I want to resume my classical guitar, but I don't want to be unjust to my singing, so I'm probably going to stick around to singer-songwriter kind of a thing. I write my own music as well. I would love to come out with that. I want to sing as much as I can. I want to just sing and sing and sing some more. I want to sing with everyone. There's so many people on my bucket list who I want to work with. I want to sing for as well, besides my independent music. I want to do that, and probably 5 years down the line, I would want to open my own music institute.
I'm pretty sure every one of your dreams will come true. From the bottom of our heart, we want to wish you all the best. You're one of the finest artists we have come across.
Oh, thank
You're
you,
also an extremely pleasant young lady.
Thank you.
And you have so much to contribute. And I think you're a great role model for other youth to follow your footsteps. And may you reach great heights. And we'd love to have you back in the show some other time very soon.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me here. I've mentioned this backstage. My parents are huge fans of yours, and they've been following you, like, even when I wasn't here, even when I was here. It's been so long. And they really look up to you. I really look up to you. You're an entrepreneur, and so much respect for you, for Jayaji, and I would love to come back here again.
It'll be a pleasure, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.